Good morning, everybody. Anybody coming here to escape that gorgeous weather we got out there? I hope everybody's excited to get back out into it once we get done with the worship in here today. Right? If it is your first time here with us today at Lifespring, please do fill out one of these special cards that we've got here. You should find one in the back of a seat around you, or if you can't find one, there should be some at the VIP table back there, which is where we'd like you to turn it in whenever you do have it filled out. We've got a special gift bag back there for you to take with you. Now, we do come here to worship, and we do come here to, have a little bit of fun as well. But mostly what we come here to do is to spread God's love. And so, if you would, please look around and do that, nearby. Give a hug or a handshake, or like last week, I introduced the high five too. You can do that as well. Welcome to Lifespring, everybody.
Ronnie? Hey, buddy. Hey. You find out anything?
Well, we didn't get a little security department, but at the hospital, I talked to some of the security guards, and I've done it before. They have a screen with guns and everything, and they can put churches on there. We can actually do like actual live. It looks like live, kind of like training.
Yeah.
So we can do that.
Okay.
I talked to him and I said, would you allow some of us to come up here and do that? He said, absolutely. That's one good thing, because he put churches in there. He's got, I think it's three different churches set up, and it just gets you familiar with different ways they can come in and stuff.
Yeah.
It won't be hours, but
Well, I was thinking. Thinking about putting deadbolts on the nursery door and that hallway door.
That's a good idea.
And that way, somebody come in, they come this way, and that would be the way to escape.
Get out, yeah.
That way, we'd be in a locked area. There's a lot of little things like that we can do.
Yeah. But like I kept telling Tony when they came on, that front door is our first.
Yeah.
We got to be able to lock that door down.
And that's usually during the service, Dave or Billy and them usually out there. Yeah. So we could actually lock that door.
Yeah. You gonna sit with me now?
Don't know. If everybody shows up, we might meet for about 5 minutes after
Okay, that'll work. Okay.
Hello, everybody again.
Hello again.
Okay. All right, so we still have family nights at Lifespring each Wednesday, 6:30 to 7:30. We have babysitting for infants and toddlers, Pioneer Club for ages 4 through 5th grade, youth group for 6th through 12th grade, and adult small group Bible study, which is led by Chuck, which he's going to preach for us today. Also, on November 26th, we have combined service at 11 a.m. and Thanksgiving meal afterwards. If you're new to Lifespring, please join Pastor Nate and Hope for Pastor Breaks at 10 a.m. next Sunday. And also for all the kids involved in play practice, it is canceled tonight. Let's continue worship.
still love to, you can always go online to our website at lifespring11192017A.
Dear God, we thank you so much for this day. We thank you that we have the opportunity to come before you and hear your word and just to worship you in the way that we are this morning. I thank you that you are a chain breaker and a pain taker and all the things we just sung about. God, I just pray that as Chuck comes and brings a message today, that you would just help us to open our hearts to what he has to say and what you have to say through him, and that the chains that we all have in our hearts this morning, that you would just allow your word to pierce through those and break those chains like you promised you could. We love you and we thank you. Amen.
Unlike Nate, I don't check my phone throughout the service while preaching. I'm old-fashioned. I have to write it down. It's a privilege to stand in his place this week as he's at the youth conference, and I hear that it's just going so well, and the kids are having a great time. They'll be back this afternoon. We're in the Thanksgiving season, and in the Thanksgiving season, I wanted to do. Nate asked me last week, will you fill in for me? And I said, Lord, what do you want to put on my heart? And I began to think about this time of year. And we've been doing a series on Wednesday nights on prayer. And it has just been a phenomenal time for me in teaching. I'm going through a book entitled Pray with Your Eyes Open. And it's not about praying in the car, but that's a good advice. But it's the most practical book on prayer I've ever read. And y'all been enjoying it? Those have been coming. So I encourage you to come out on Wednesday night. We're not meeting this Wednesday night, but it's my final one on the next Wednesday night. I also want to remind you that next week we are only meeting one service next week at 11 o'clock. And afterwards we're having a dinner, and you bring your leftovers, bring your turkey, or if you're tired of turkey, bring something else. And Terry Gilbert has already requested somebody bring greens, collard greens. I don't know what this is. But we'll enjoy that time together and be able to share a Thanksgiving fellowship together. I know a lot of you are thankful that you only have a 2-day work week or a 3-day work week or a 4-day work week. That's always something to be thankful for. If you have your Bibles with you or your phone, you might want to turn to Psalm 30. Psalm 30. It is a great psalm of thanksgiving. And that's going to be our pattern today. We're going to look at it and we're going to see some patterns for a way we can that will help us in communicating our gratitude to God and saying thank you to Him. So I want to read the psalm. It's very brief. It's only 12 verses, so I'll read it and you follow along. I'm reading from the New International Version. I will exalt you, O Lord, for you have lifted me out of the depths and did not let my enemies gloat over me. I love that. That's such a personal thing. And you would let them gloat over me. O Lord my God, I called to you for help and you healed me. O Lord, you brought me up from the grave. You spared me from going down to the pit. Sing to the Lord, you saints of His. Praise His holy name, for His anger lasts for a moment, but His favor lasts a lifetime. Weeping may remain in the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. When I felt secure, I said, I will never be shaken. O Lord, when you favored me, you made my mountain stand firm. But when you hid your face from me, I was dismayed. To you, O Lord, I called. To the Lord I cried for mercy. What gain is there in my destruction, in my going down into the pit? Will the dust praise you? Will it proclaim your faithfulness? Hear, O Lord, and be merciful to me. O Lord, be my help. You turned my wailing into dancing. You removed my sackcloth and clothed me with joy, that my heart may sing to you and not be silent. O Lord my God, I will give you thanks forever. Full of emotion, and you could probably list them all off. That's what I love about the Psalms, is that they're prayers that express just about every circumstance in our lives. And God invites us to be ourselves and to be honest with Him in prayer and in coming to Him. Parents, have you ever had this problem, this situation? A friend of the family or a kindly uncle comes to your small child or comes to your home and gives them a little gift. It may just be candy or a little gift. And the child snatches it out of hand. And the first thing you say is, honey, say thank you. And there's silence. Honey, say thank you. Between gritted teeth, they go, thanks. And then they're gone. You know, children sometimes have difficulty expressing gratitude. It doesn't seem to come to them naturally. So we as parents, we're constantly saying, say thank you. But it's not just kids that sometimes have difficulty expressing gratitude. We adults have that problem too. Of course, we learn to be polite, and we say thank you when someone holds the door or helps us with something. But expressing deep-seated, sincere gratitude can sometimes be difficult. And if it's difficult for us with other people, then how much more is it difficult to express gratitude to God in proportion of all the good things He's done for us? And so I want to take a little time, because we all know that God deserves our gratitude, but He often just gets a quick thank you up from us as we go on to other things. And effectively communicating gratitude to God is an act worthy, it's a practice worthy of developing, because God deserves it, and as we'll learn, it benefits us to do it. So I'll talk about the purpose of gratitude, the words of gratitude, and the benefits of gratitude as we think about it during this season. We say thank you for many reasons. Like I said, someone holds the door, somebody helps you with something out of the car, and we say thank you. But often we can say thank you just out of habit. There was this one woman that I heard of that just got into the habit of saying thank you. She'd say thank you 100 times a day for the littlest things, the smallest things. One time she even got pulled over by police for speeding, and after getting a lecture from the officer and a hefty fine, she smiled to him and said, thank you. And she had a coworker that said, if I hear you say thank you one more time, I think I'll scream. So she thought about it. She reviewed her day in her mind, and she goes, you know, you're right. Thank you for telling me that. And then, of course, there was a scream. But we can sometimes fall into that habit with God in our own prayers and our own attitudes. That's why sometimes we have these phrases in our prayers, like, thank you for this day, thank you for your blessings, or the one that I always did growing up was, thank you for sending Jesus Christ down the cross for my sins. Phenomenal truth, but and there's nothing wrong with those things, but when we say them and they're just words in our mouth and not reflecting the attitude of our hearts, then maybe we need to reconsider what we're doing or think a little bit more deeply about what we're doing. Fortunately, the Bible teaches us about how to express gratitude through examples like in the Psalms. And the Bible tells us or reminds us or teaches us that thanksgiving in prayer is an expression of a deep appreciation for the things that God has done for us. Often we can get so caught up in the day-to-day that the reality of God's blessings just fades from our minds. And therefore, we need to make an effort, concerted effort, to appreciate what God's done for us and to express to Him thanksgiving. After all, Paul wrote in 1 Thessalonians 5:18, give thanks in all circumstances, for it is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. So it makes it very clear. This is the will of God. Give thanks in all circumstances. It was important to Jesus because we remember the story in the New Testament in Luke where He healed 10 lepers who came to Him begging for mercy. And so He heals 10 and only one returns to Him to say thank you. And Jesus, He didn't just say, you're welcome, go on your way. No, He commented on it. He said, weren't there 10? Where's the other one? Because Jesus was doing the work of His Father, and seeing God glorified was important. Seeing God get the credit for what He does was important to Jesus. And we see in the Psalms that the purpose of thanksgiving is expressed in Psalm 30, verse 1. Look at verse 1. I will exalt you, O Lord, for you have lifted me out of the depths, and you did not let my enemies gloat over me. The key word there is, I will exalt you, O Lord. All right? And Psalm 34 says something similar. It says, I will extol the Lord at all times. His praise will always be on my lips. My soul will boast in the Lord. Let the afflicted hear it and rejoice. We hear words, the key words in there: exalt, extol, praise, boast in God. Sometimes these words they don't mean as much to us today because we don't use them a lot. Has anybody been extolled lately? Have you extolled a friend? And there's another word that I love in the Psalms, is magnify the Lord. We sing songs, magnify the Lord with me, let us join our hearts together. I think that's the way it is. But the word magnify is an interesting word because sometimes we think of it as in the wrong way. It's not like magnifying like a microscope, where you make something small look bigger. But it's magnify like a telescope, where something that's far away is brought closer. And so when we extol God, when we thank God for what He's doing in our lives, we're bringing Him into the room. We're shining a spotlight on Him, and we are making Him more clear and more real in our lives. And that has a great impact on us. And the psalmist's purpose in glorifying and extolling in God is that he not only does it, but he wants other people to join in. Because the purpose of expressing gratitude is to give God the honor that He deserves for the things He does from it. From the ordinary to the spectacular, God meets needs. And He deserves us to express that to Him. I was in a church for many years, and every year that church would have a appreciation dinner for teachers. We had a ton of teachers in our church. And of course, being teachers, they were always being tapped to teach Sunday school and to be involved in vacation Bible school in the summer and things like that. And so, but not only that, were they just great workers in the church. The church appreciated what they did for the community. And so every fall before school started, at the end of summer, they have this teacher appreciation banquet. They invite members of the school board to come to church that day, and they would have this dinner. There was a couple of rules. One was that no teacher or no teacher's family could be involved in the preparation of the banquet, and then secondly, that they got to go first when they went to eat. So it was a way in which the church would say, "You're special. We appreciate you." To shine the spotlight on them, and it would lift them up and bring some sort of recognition to them. And what the psalmists do, they do the same thing, but with a banquet of words, they express their gratitude to God, and they shine a flashlight or a spotlight on Him so that they acknowledge appreciation for what He's done. Well, that's easier said than done sometimes, because maybe, some people have a way with words, and others not have a way. And so what words do we use? What do we use to appreciate? Because we sometimes don't know what to say. And that's why we have a greeting card industry. It's because they can say those things that we wish we could say. You ever gone to Walmart or to Rite Aid and looking for a greeting card for a special occasion, for a special someone, and you open it up and you go through several? No, they don't want the monkey that's eating, but no, they don't. And then you find that one, and you say, "Wow, if I could write, this is exactly what I would have written." And because sometimes we don't have the words, but fortunately, we've got all these great greeting cards in the Psalms. All these great words in which people expressed their thanksgiving, gave it some thought, and expressed it out. A simple thank you sometimes can become, boring or even insincere. But what we can do is we can express and communicate to God. What can we do to express that in our hearts? Well, what we see time and time again in the Psalms is you see the psalmists retell and tell others about the good things God has done in their life. They tell stories. They go back over the circumstances that they've been through, and they thank God for all the things that He did in the process of bringing them through it. Look again at Psalm 30, verse 6. "When I felt secure, I said, I will never be shaken. O Lord, when you favored me, you made my mountain stand firm. But when you hid your face, I was dismayed. To you, O Lord, I called out. To the Lord, I cried for mercy. Hear me, O Lord." A little bit further down, he says, "And be merciful to me, O Lord, be my help." You see, speaking